The shocking revelation of Ivanka Trump's secret marriage and its hidden timeline has quickly become one of the most discussed stories in political and media circles, not only because of the name attached to it but also because of the way it unraveled. Ivanka Trump, who has always been seen as a figure of careful branding and image management, crafted her public life around the themes of elegance, business acumen, and political influence. From her time as a business executive in the Trump Organization to her role as a senior advisor in her father's White House, Ivanka positioned herself as a symbol of controlled narratives and calculated moves. That is precisely why the news of a secret marriage, one that had been kept away from the glare of cameras and headlines, has stunned so many observers. It raises questions not only about why it was hidden but also about what this means for the broader story of the Trump family's influence in America. When we consider how much effort has gone into constructing the image of the Trump family as a dynasty of power and wealth, the discovery of a concealed marriage strikes at the very heart of their storytelling. Every detail of their lives, from business ventures to political campaigns, has been carefully monitored, managed, and presented in ways that could serve their agenda. For Ivanka, who is often portrayed as the refined, more composed counterpart to her father's fiery persona, the idea of hiding such a significant personal milestone immediately prompts speculation. People begin to ask, what was the reason for this secrecy, who knew about it, and how long had it been hidden from the public? These questions do not simply arise from curiosity. They reflect the deeper desire to understand how much of what we see in the public eye is authentic and how much is curated for strategic purposes. The timeline of this hidden marriage is equally intriguing. Reports and whispers suggest that it did not occur recently, but has roots stretching back further than most could have imagined. If true, this would mean that for years, while Ivanka was appearing at public events, giving interviews, and shaping political policies, she was simultaneously guarding one of the most personal aspects of her life from public knowledge. Such a duality captures the fascination of people who are always searching for the contrast between public image and private reality. Every timeline brings its own set of consequences, and in this case, the longer the secrecy lasted, the more people are inclined to believe it was intentionally covered up rather than just overlooked. The deliberate nature of the concealment makes it more explosive, because it turns what could have been a simple private matter into a scandal fueled by hidden motives. The secrecy surrounding this marriage forces us to reflect on the culture of political families in America. Transparency is a quality often demanded by the public, yet history shows that powerful families frequently draw lines around what they choose to reveal and what they prefer to keep locked away. Ivanka Trump's situation highlights this tension perfectly. For some, it is a personal choice and should remain untouched by public scrutiny. For others, it is symbolic of a larger pattern where individuals in positions of power hide crucial truths while presenting a carefully constructed narrative to the nation. That conflict is what drives the storm around this revelation. It is not just about Ivanka's marriage. It is about whether the concealment represents yet another layer of manipulation by a family already accused of prioritizing image over honesty. The hidden timeline also opens up space for speculation about who within the Trump circle was aware of the truth. Was this secret confined only to Ivanka and her partner, or was it protected by the broader Trump machinery? If her family knew, then why was there such an effort to guard it? And if they did not, then what does that say about Ivanka's independence in controlling her personal narrative apart from the shadow of her father? Both scenarios fuel debates, and in either case, they complicate the story of loyalty, family unity, and image control that the Trumps have always tried to project. The possibility that some insiders may have kept this knowledge hidden while others remained in the dark adds layers of intrigue, making it feel less like a personal matter and more like a political drama unfolding in real time. At the center of this revelation lies the undeniable fact that timing is everything. The moment when such a truth is revealed often dictates how it will be received, and in this case, the timing of the disclosure coincides with heightened scrutiny of the Trump family's political legacy. With Donald Trump's influence still looming over American politics and Ivanka often floated as a potential political figure in her own right, the sudden exposure of a long-hidden marriage becomes a powerful tool for both critics and supporters. Critics seize upon it as evidence of dishonesty and manipulation, while supporters attempt to minimize its impact, framing it as a personal choice that does not diminish Ivanka's achievements. In either case, the hidden timeline has turned into a battleground where narratives collide, and the truth itself becomes a weapon in the ongoing struggle over image and power. The magnitude of this revelation lies not just in the fact of the marriage itself, but in the sense of betrayal felt by those who believed they knew Ivanka Trump. For years, she has been presented as a figure of transparency, balance, and modern values, and the exposure of a carefully concealed marriage creates a jarring disconnect between perception and reality. That disconnect is what transforms this revelation from a private issue into a public spectacle. It becomes more than just gossip. It becomes a moment of reckoning. Jasmine Crockett's bold role in exposing the truth and challenging political silence is one of the most striking aspects of this unfolding revelation. At a time when many voices in political circles prefer caution, calculation, or quiet complicity, Crockett has chosen to step directly into the storm. Her decision to speak openly about Ivanka Trump's secret marriage demonstrates not only courage, but also a willingness to confront the culture of secrecy that often shields powerful figures from accountability. In doing so, she has positioned herself as a figure who disrupts the unspoken rules of silence that dominate American politics, where protecting influential families frequently takes precedence over revealing uncomfortable truths. Crockett's boldness stands out because it highlights the value of transparency at a moment when public trust in leaders and institutions is fragile and easily shaken. Crockett has never been a politician who shies away from controversy. Her reputation is built on sharp questioning, direct confrontation, and an unwillingness to bow to pressure from more established political figures. By taking on the task of exposing Ivanka Trump's hidden marriage, she has not only added to her profile but also drawn attention to the broader issue of how much truth is deliberately withheld from the public. This is not simply about one marriage. It is about the principle that those who seek influence over public life must be open about the realities of their own lives. Her willingness to place herself at the center of this storm underscores the message that silence in the face of deception is not an option. In many ways, Crockett embodies a growing demand within American politics for leaders who will break through carefully constructed facades and insist on holding even the most powerful accountable. The very act of speaking out against a figure like Ivanka Trump is a demonstration of political bravery. Ivanka is not only the daughter of a former president, but also someone whose image has been polished for years as a symbol of refinement and modern conservatism. Exposing her secret challenges the protective bubble around her and risks triggering backlash from her supporters, her family, and her political allies. Crockett would have been fully aware of these risks, yet she pressed forward, signaling that she views truth as more important than the comfort of avoiding conflict. This willingness to endure criticism and potential political consequences is what makes her role so bold. She has shifted the conversation away from silence and caution to one that prioritizes openness and challenges the idea that powerful families can hide personal truths without consequence. Her actions also serve as a broader critique of the political culture that normalizes silence. In many cases, politicians and public figures prefer to look the other way when it comes to the personal lives of those in power, particularly when acknowledging those truths might destabilize existing alliances. By breaking that silence, Crockett has not only revealed a specific secret but also disrupted the unwritten agreements that often allow those with influence to maintain control over their narratives. In exposing Ivanka Trump's hidden marriage, she has also exposed the tendency of political institutions to protect rather than question, to preserve image rather than confront reality. This disruption of silence makes her stand not just about Ivanka, but about the system that too often shields leaders from full accountability. Crockett's choice to reveal this information also demonstrates her understanding of how political narratives are shaped and challenged. She recognizes that silence allows narratives to harden into accepted truths, while bold revelations force people to reconsider what they thought they knew. By bringing forward the truth about Ivanka, she compels the public to question not only this one instance, but also the broader reliability of the Trump family's public image. In a political environment where perception is often more influential than fact, Crockett's role in breaking through the carefully constructed veneer of Ivanka's image has immediate and lasting impact. She has inserted herself into a moment that forces the public to confront the difference between what they have been told and what has actually been hidden. Her boldness also lies in the fact that she connects this revelation to issues of integrity and accountability, themes that resonate with the public beyond the boundaries of partisan politics. Whether people support or oppose Ivanka Trump, the idea that truth has been withheld resonates as a concern. Crockett uses this resonance to amplify her message, showing that silence in the face of secrecy only strengthens the hold of the powerful, while exposing it allows the public to reclaim some measure of control. She has turned a personal secret into a political flashpoint, demonstrating how the private actions of leaders intersect with the larger values of trust and honesty that underpin democratic life. By doing so, she forces the debate away from questions of privacy alone and into the realm of what kind of standards should be demanded of those who occupy positions of influence. Another aspect of Crockett's boldness is the way she has chosen to deliver her message. Rather than cloaking her statements in ambiguity or watering down her words to avoid offense, she has been direct, sharp, and uncompromising. This style not only captures attention but also signals that she is unwilling to be intimidated by the power structures that surround Ivanka Trump. In a political landscape where many prefer cautious wording and carefully balanced rhetoric, Crockett's straightforward approach is refreshing to some and threatening to others. It reinforces the sense that she is not motivated by fear of backlash, but by a determination to put truth above political calculation. This insistence on clarity and directness magnifies the impact of her revelation, ensuring that it cannot be easily dismissed or ignored. Her decision to challenge political silence through this act of exposure also resonates deeply with broader societal trends. There is a growing impatience among the public with institutions and leaders who appear to conceal, manipulate, or distort the truth for their own gain. Crockett's revelation speaks directly to this impatience, positioning her as someone who embodies the frustration many feel towards systems that privilege power over honesty. By refusing to stay silent, she aligns herself with the demand for greater accountability and transparency, making her not just a messenger, but also a symbol of resistance against the culture of silence that permeates politics. Ultimately, Jasmine Crockett's boldness is not confined to the act of revealing a secret, but extends to the larger stand she has taken against a culture that prefers silence over confrontation. She has demonstrated that exposing the truth is a form of resistance, a way of reclaiming power from those who seek to control narratives for their own benefit. Her role is significant not only for what it reveals about Ivanka Trump, but also for what it says about the willingness of leaders to confront secrecy, challenge silence, and place truth at the center of public life.